Hi, welcome to tonight's show. You're with Tom, Brian and Steve on NRL from the Sidelines, and we're proudly sponsored by Rock Australia Radio.
Thank you, Don.
How are we tonight, gentlemen? We're doing well?
We're doing well. I'm okay. Yeah. Brian?
Brian?
I have to answer that, do I?
Yeah. Actually, Tom, I got a text from Brian today, and you probably got it as well, saying that he's exhausted and we have to carry him for tonight's show.
Okay.
Like my football team.
Nothing can carry your football team at the moment, let me tell you. Nothing.
I ain't getting cocky.
Well, neither should you.
Well, we have to also remember that for the first time in a long time, we are all losers.
Well, you're a loser. Say nothing about the rest of us.
Oh, you're talking about our teams.
All our teams are losers. Yeah, well, you know, people might think that about us as well, but, well...
No. Look, I think, in all fairness...
The other team scored more points than you, Stephen. That means you lost.
In all fairness, some teams lost bigger than what others did.
A loss is a loss. A miss is as good as a
No.
I
sometimes think that even
losing... in that case, Manly's a winner.
And I went to the South game on Friday night, and everyone was handing out Greg Inglis pictures.
Oh, that is horrible.
Why?
What's that haunting eyes?
I think that's a good look.
Yeah, that's even worse. Crikey.
It was his 250th game and South couldn't win for him. Anyway, I'll put this down.
That's better.
It's disappointing, yes.
Okay, all right. Let's get on to the show. Gentlemen, we are talking about round 8 of the NRL. And I think there has been some astounding results that, and we'll go through them. Let's start on Wednesday, Anzac Day. We had the match between St George Illawarra and the Sydney Roosters at Allianz Stadium, and St George won 24-8. And argue with me if you like, but I don't even think the Roosters were in it. They didn't even look like they were going to mount a challenge.
I agree. As the impartial person here.
Well, I'm impartial.
Now, for this game, I'm impartial. Now, you don't like the Roosters.
That's true. Okay.
And you like the Roosters. I personally don't care. No, I didn't think, Steve, I agree with you. There you go. The Roosters were not in it.
No.
A lot of hula was made of the Neil McDonald's no try that was a try. But I don't think that would have had any bearing.
No, that wasn't going to have any difference on it at all.
Unfortunately, something is misfiring at the Roosters. And
what do you think it is?
I actually think
you just
and be invisible.
I actually think it comes back down to Jake Friend. I don't think they're getting good service out of dummy half.
You think that's all it is?
Yeah, I think that's the majority of it, and I don't think that the hooker has to get the ball to where it needs to be. Yeah. Be it in the Roosters' case, be it to Cooper Cronk or Luke Keary. And he's the man who makes that decision. So he can run it or pass it to the left or the right.
Yep.
The Roosters, since they've got Cooper Cronk, go to him. He's their go-to man, as he should be.
Yeah.
But everybody's reading that. And Friend is offering slower service out of dummy half, and he's not running. So basically, of the 3 options from dummy half, the Roosters have got 1.
Yep.
And I think that's really hampering them.
Yep.
I mean, if I was to say to you, Steve, hey, how'd you like Latrell Mitchell in your team? You'd love it. But you know what? You'd get him the ball as soon as you could.
Yeah, of course I would.
I don't know how many touches he had against the Dragons, but it just wasn't enough. So no. I think that's where they're falling down. So hear me well, Trent.
Yes, ring him, Trent. Okay, Tom?
Well, first of all, I think it was a great occasion. I thought Anzac Day, they always do Anzac Day very well, and this is the true Anzac game of the round, really.
Hang on, you can't say that.
Yeah, you just did.
I just did.
There are millions of people watching now that would dispute that.
Yeah, so anyway, I think you're right. We weren't ever going to win that game. I think, the score was 24-8. So I have no argument that the Dragons scored those points. My concern was that we let ourselves get ambushed, and my team let themselves get ambushed in the first 2 minutes, and in the last 30 seconds of the first half. You take those 2 tries away. Had we not let that happen, it was actually a pretty even half.
Yep.
I thought we played pretty well. We peppered their line. We made a huge blunder, taking 2 points when they were making lots and lots of errors and penalties, and they probably would have got us in bin, or we might have got across the line. I think there was a huge mistake. The other thing about the Neneh McDonald try, I don't think anybody thinks it was a try, but the point was we let him get into that position where he would normally score 9 times out of 10. So it doesn't really matter. The point is that it was an error of judgment by the defence. He got there. He didn't really score it, but he got it anyway. I think that could have been a turning point for us if we had any chance of winning the game at all at 18-8.
Yep.
But that chance was taken away from us. But I agree. I think I've heard a lot of commentators talk about what's wrong with the Roosters, and I think Jake Frim has been brought up as one.
Okay.
And the other thing is that we're getting cramped, and that's possibly again due to the hooker. But we're not getting opportunities to get the ball to Latrell because the defence is reading what we're doing and getting in front. So very frustrating. I can only hope that our defence stays strong because even though they scored 24 points. Like I said, 2 of those tries were ambushes. Bad reads, they were tired at the end of the half. Take those 2 out, it was a much more even game. It's just that we didn't have enough creativity in attack. If we have some attack, we could have won that game, quite well. But we didn't have any creativity.
But you didn't.
And look, a credit to the Dragons. What they're doing best at the moment is getting in your face. Yep. And they certainly knew how to get into their face. I mean, Cronk got monstered by Tarek Sims a number of times. Yeah. So, look, I'm frustrated. I don't know where we're going, but I can only hope that things will change somehow.
But in saying that, how good were the Dragons?
Oh, superb!
Excellent.
Wow,
yeah. Superb. I haven't. Surprisingly, one of our watchers, Barry, I haven't heard from him all week.
Hey, come on, Barry, what's the story?
Yeah, we thought you'd be bagging him out. But anyway.
we jump on the bandwagon.
But I tell you, no, they were superb.
Just that team, you and Aiken, Tim Laffey, great players, great centres. Jason Nightingale, far out. Wouldn't you love to have him at your club?
Yeah.
He just does everything.
He's making a few mistakes.
They're both Mr. Reliables for their teams.
Gareth Widdop, Ben Hunt speak for themselves. James Graham. Then they've got Cameron McInnes, who I still can't believe that you guys let him go. I mean, I know you've got Damien Cook, but McInnes is a good player.
How many of those do you reckon are going to be considered for
a
lot of their backs?
Quite a few. Their forwards are being talked up.
Well, your DeBellin, Sims, Frizzell and Vaughan and McInnes could all be there.
Yep.
And that just leaves James Graham because he's a pommy. And Ben Hunt is more than likely going to be there as well.
Isn't it interesting that when St George bought Ben Hunt, everybody said they're wasting their money.
Yep.
And I tell you what, he has turned into a superstar.
Fantastic.
He's hitting his straps. Whatever Paul McGregor is doing down there, he's doing it right.
And what he did to us at half time, he does to a lot of teams. He seems to be able to find a hole, an individual piece of brilliance.
Okay, let's move on.
Yep.
Gentlemen, there wasn't, believe it or not, Tom, there was another Anzac Day game that day.
There was eight Anzac games.
And it was an international one as opposed to a...
Yeah, and it should have been played in New Zealand.
Suburb.
To be fair.
But this one, everyone thought was going to be a cracker game, was going to be a close, tough tussle.
And I changed my tip coming out of Allianz Stadium because I was so annoyed.
To what?
I'm going for the Warriors.
Well, that was a mistake.
And by half time, the Warriors were leading 38-0.
No,
they
Storm.
A Storm were leading 38. But let me tell you. At 20 minutes into the game, the Storm were winning, had already scored 4 tries, had 65% of the possession, had 100% completion, and had already had 11 sets.
Yeah.
I mean, just what they did to the Warriors in the first half was unbelievable.
And this is against a team that is was in second or third position and had only lost, 1 game in the whole season?
Yeah. One, I think. They lost against St George. Yeah.
Can I just say, we asked a question last week. Are the Storm back? Well, somebody was a doubter.
I was a doubter.
Yeah. I think you might have been as well.
No, I said I said they're starting to hit their straps.
Yeah.
Like I'm thinking. I was thinking, geez, because there's a number of Tigers supporters out there.
Do we have any watching?
We do.
Okay.
We've got a couple, and they were saying they were really crowing at the start of the year.
Yeah.
We beat the Storm twice and the Roosters. I'm thinking if they played the Storm now, they wouldn't be winning.
No. And mind you, they also lost to Parramatta, but we'll come to that later.
Yeah,
Anyway.
yeah, that's it. Later.
Oh, it's just frustrating.
Look, and I'll tell you what, I mean, the Warriors just had no answer. The Warriors were good in the second half. Now, whether they were really bad in the first half or whether the Storm...
12-10 in the second half.
Yeah, that's right. Or whether the Storm, took their foot off, I don't know. But I tell you, it was an amazing performance. It truly was.
Yeah.
It's just so... I tell you, currently, it's just really hard. If a good team gets on a roll, they just keep their foot on your throat. And you've probably noticed it too. When a team starts to get on top, there's penalties given that just seem to keep them there.
Yeah.
It's just working that way. And whether that's the defending team getting frustrated and giving those penalties away, or that's just in the mindsets of the ref, I don't know. But it's happening in a lot of games.
Have the Storm adjusted to the referee changes, do you think? Because
I think so.
You could argue that they got a bit, not ambushed, but a bit surprised by what was happening in the first few rounds.
Well, look, I think every team is starting to adjust. I mean, I'm hoping the refs aren't backing off and that they are starting to adjust because there's a few less penalties happening now.
I know there's a lot of players play the ball infringements now and not getting picked up.
Yeah.
People still throwing the ball under their feet and really not having a decent attempt to put their foot on it.
Yeah, that's disappointing.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's see how that goes. Listen, let's move on to ANZ Stadium on Thursday night. South Sydney Rabbitohs against the Broncos, and the Broncos winning 24-20.
And the first half, I texted you saying, gee, the Rabbitohs are good to watch.
Yeah, and the second half, you turned them off.
Rubbish.
Yeah.
Look, the first half I thought they looked great. Sutton's got back to his best.
Sutton's having a really good year. I don't know what it was with the Bunnies. They switched off in the second half, and I don't think the Broncos made a mistake in the second half.
Tell you, Corey Oates had an absolute crack of a game.
Well,
really did.
Reynolds 5 times kicked Corey Oates. The first time he kicked to him, it was the time he took the ball and then ran 60 metres upfield. Mm-hmm. And then every time that we South put a bum up, it was to Corey Oates.
Did you say put a bomb up? Or?
A bomb, yes.
It didn't quite sound like that.
It's my Mediterranean accent. Tom, Brian, what did you hear?
I heard bomb.
Thank you.
I heard bomb and...
You're trying to keep it PG rated,
No, so I won't go there.
So, look, I don't know. I got to say I was disappointed in the second half. South should have won that game. They really should have. At 12-6, they weren't as far ahead as they should have been, but,
Yeah, tough game.
So what does it tell us about the Broncos?
I still think they're very hot and cold. There's no consistency.
They're still patchy.
Yeah.
Tell you what, Darius Boyd looked like he'd shaken off that leg injury.
Yeah.
When he scored that try, he had to run into the in goal. He was at full pace and he looked good and he looked happy. Yeah. First time for a while he looked happy, so I think he might be shaking that leg injury off, which is fantastic.
And Inglis had a great game. He's coming back from his injury as well. Mm-hmm. Johnson had a spectacular try save in the first half, which, the ball would have been inches off the ground. And that was, they're all playing well. It's just, look, both teams are not consistent at the moment.
Yep.
They're really not.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, well, we're already up to Friday.
We're up to Friday, Brian. Do you
No.
Do you need to take 5 minutes or?
Yep.
Well, let's talk about Lotto Land and the Manly Sea Eagles against the Newcastle Knights, and the Newcastle Knights winning 18-12. Brian?
But you're asking me.
I'm sorry, Manly were terrible.
Yep.
And I've got to tell you, I don't think Newcastle were all that much better. I thought they were both very poor, and I think anyone else, and if either of those teams played anybody else on that night, they'd get smashed.
No Pearce, and he's been pivotal to that team this season.
Yep.
And I actually changed my tip to the Knights eventually, and I don't know what it was, but I just thought, Pearce is gone. Surely that can't be good for the Knights. But then I thought, well, it's not just all the halves. I mean, they're playing with a lot of heart. They're playing with a lot of spirit, and I just thought I'd give them a try and prove the right decision in the end.
And mind you, there was only about 7,000 people at the game.
Oh, you could see that there were a lot of people not there.
Five and a bit, Steve.
A lot of
Five and a bit, wasn't
people at the moment.
So, why?
Well, I think the timing of the game, but
Well, I don't know. It's a Friday night game. There's always Friday night games.
Half the work.
Yeah, but that's not a good excuse. There's something going on at Manly that is bigger than just losing a couple of games and low crowds.
Lachlan Croker had probably his best half a game of the season.
Yep.
And it was tragic. I feel desperately sorry for him that he went out that way. And that's all you needed, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's exactly what we needed. Yeah.
I've
got nothing. Manly had a couple of opportunities to kick penalty goals and went for tries. I thought that Croker had actually scored one, was called back. There was just little things that happened. When your team, it's funny. We talked about patchy and patchy teams.
Yeah.
And when teams get on a roll, they seem to not be able to get out of that rut.
Yep.
Overall, Manly's game is in a rut, and they just can't seem to get out.
The game
looked like they're trying.
They were trying that game. Marty Tapau and Jake had fantastic games.
300 metres or something. Didn't
they were absolute machines.
Yeah.
And if they were playing in a, I don't understand. I don't know what's going wrong. It has to be, Jack Gibson always said, if your front of house is in disarray, your football team will be.
Yep.
And I think that's probably accurate.
Taniela Paseka, that monster of a
He
guy.
is
163 metres off the bench.
He is a monster.
Yeah.
He's big, isn't he? Yeah.
It'd be good to see him against Lloyd Haas.
Yeah. Yeah.
Lloyd who's big as the house.
Yeah. He was big.
You mean Payne?
Payne Haas.
Where did Lloyd from? I'm thinking, who the hell's Lloyd?
I don't know.
Wow, by the way, Payne Haas is a New South Welshman.
Yeah, which is good, isn't it?
Officially.
Yeah.
Thank goodness.
Yeah. Isn't that funny? As soon as a kid comes off who looks to have a bit of skill, we all of a sudden say, "Oh, quick, we've got to get him into New South Wales."
No, we don't want to get him in this. No, but we want to make sure that Queensland don't pinch him.
Correct.
That's all.
They will anyway.
So,
no, they can't.
I want to talk about a certain incident between the captain and his best mate, Jamie Buhrer, in DCE.
Portion.
Oh, come on.
No.
You have a look at these.
I had a look at it. I watched it. There was nothing in it. I watched the replay of it.
Stuck his finger in and he reefed on his eyes. Now, if they're mates and he was just trying to have a bit of fun, then it wasn't funny.
He went too far.
He should have gone for that.
Yeah, but you know what?
Gone for that.
Okay. Typical Manly haters.
That's the mercy rule.
There was absolutely nothing in
Let me ask the question.
That's the NRL taking pity on you. Seriously.
Let me ask the question. If that was Sam Burgess who did exactly that,
you
would be screaming.
12 months. You'd be giving 12 months.
There was nothing in it.
And he would have been cited and he would be off.
No. The match review committee hasn't gone, it's Manly. If they don't field a halfback, they actually won't have 21 players.
I don't know about that.
No.
I think they have.
I think Todd might have said, hey, you better leave this here alone. They might be able to field the team.
Oh, it's not.
But seriously, he should have gone for that.
There was nothing.
He should have gone for that.
To think there was something in that, you guys have got right.
I didn't see the end of the actual end of the game, but I think when DCE went.
Oh, you mean when it happened?
When he went to shake Buhrer's hand.
Yeah.
I don't know that he was all that happy with him.
Still shook hands with him.
Yeah.
What happens on the field stays on the field, but.
Yeah. Jamie Buhrer shouldn't have been playing for them anyway. Should have been playing for us.
Well, Matt, what are you saying? Jamie Buhrer shouldn't have had his eye in that place.
That probably wouldn't have to happen.
Anyway, all right, gentlemen, we're going to move on to Panthers Stadium on Friday night as well, where the Penrith Panthers beat the Dogs 22-14. And I tell you what, with all the injuries that the Panthers have, they keep winning.
I'm surprised that the Dogs got as close as they did. That was a very good performance.
But it was a 30-minute performance. They were good for 30 minutes.
Who, the Panthers or the Dogs?
Oh, yeah. They're good for 30 minutes.
No, actually, I thought they were a bit more than that. I was surprised that they could stay in it.
Yeah.
They were running with the Panthers, and the Panthers were impressive.
Well, I think the Dogs have shown they've got a bit of defence in them. They've got a bit of defence at times. So they scored their points pretty much in the first 20, 30 minutes.
Can I ask, Woods? Look, I think Clemmer's having a great year.
Yeah, he is.
He's probably giving away a few too many penalties.
Yeah, he was firing.
But Woods just doesn't seem to be... He's taking the ball up, he's taking it up often.
And
but
he turns around.
He turns, there's not a lot of aggression.
And if he doesn't get rid of the ball, then he lands on his back like a beach whale, and it takes extra seconds for him to get around and turn over and play the ball.
He's not playing well at the moment, which doesn't bode well for New South Wales.
He won't make the team.
Well, there's plenty of
Well,
other
that's
options.
my point.
There's plenty of other options now.
Yeah.
I mean, sad for him, but I think there are plenty of other options.
Yeah, but I've got to say, I love watching David Clemmer play. He had an ongoing running battle with a few of the Penrith players, and I think he was lucky not to be sent off.
Or binned at least.
I think one of the interesting things about Panthers is it's never the same players every week that are scoring the tries.
No.
That's something you can notice, is that, this week it was Hawira, Leota and Yo, and last week it was Maloney and some different people.
Yep.
It'd be Kickow or whatever.
Yep.
So that bodes well for them, having different players in different positions who can score tries.
Yeah.
They're spreading the love, as they say.
All right,
just a bunch of guys who play football.
Yeah.
And they look like they're enjoying it too.
Yeah.
Even Peachy, who's on his way out, looked like he was enjoying the game.
And he had 10 times the depth of any other club.
And he's on his way out to Cbus Super Stadium, where the Titans played the Sharks.
Nice segue.
Did you like that? I thought that was good.
It would have been perfect if Tom hadn't interrupted.
Yeah, exactly. But
it's supposed to be in brackets.
Yeah, but that's why Tom's here. We need the interruption. Cronulla Sharks won 10-9, 3 field goals in this game.
I didn't see this. I was actually at the movie.
Tom, you
Tom,
don't say that.
I was at the movie.
Tom,
I was at the movie. Okay.
Don't tell everyone. Don't. He was watching
I said
it.
this last week. I watched
everything.
7 games out of 8. Keep sue me.
Okay, we will.
Okay, just sue Tom, not the rest of us.
Yeah, look, I'm not sold on Cronulla.
No.
I think Titans are inconsistent, but when they play well, they have a lot of heart and they fight well. And I think they're extremely unlucky. But I'm just not sold on Cronulla at the moment. I don't see... They're not scoring a lot of points.
Well, they're missing Lewis, they're missing Gallen.
Yeah, but that's...
And Wade Graham, I think.
And Wade Graham.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's experience.
Oh, yeah, but let's have a look at who
experience.
Manly are missing. Well, no, that's...
Manly.
But then you have to look at their results.
Yeah, let's have a look who Penrith are missing.
But I just said, Penrith have got the depth of 10 clubs,
Well, they can't have. They still only have to have 30 players on their books.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
well, it's not June 30th, so. But they've just got so many players.
Look, I hate to say it. Look, I don't think you're right. I don't think the Sharks are playing very attractive football. They seem clunky and misfiring. And I think the Titans. I'm gonna pick a player to blame there too, and that's Bryce Cartwright.
Why?
Somebody said that to me too.
At the end.
Yeah.
Just overall, when he was leaving Penrith, I was thinking, wow, his dad coaches at Manly. This could be a great opportunity. I was fingers crossed. I was thinking, geez, I want this guy at my club. He is so out of form.
Yeah.
But he's a big running back rower who's got good ball skills. So he's playing at 5'8", doesn't make much sense. But he only made 11 runs.
Yeah.
Well, we say SKDs, rocks and diamonds. Well, Bryce Carter is a big rock and a little diamond.
Oh, look, he can play, but
when he does, but it's very infrequent that he does anything special.
And I don't understand because Kane Elgie's up there as well. Surely that's
a drop.
Yeah, but
surely
his
that's
defense,
a better option.
No, his defence is what's been leaking points for them at the moment. He needs to learn how to tackle. Players are just running through him, and that's where they're losing games.
On the plus side, Jai Arrow's going great.
Oh yeah, he's going really well.
Jared Wallace.
Yeah.
Did you see? I saw this much. Jared Wallace is banging himself
Oh,
on
yeah,
the ball.
yeah.
I'm thinking Queenslander.
All right, let's move on to 1300 Smiles Stadium and North Queensland against the Canberra Raiders, and the Raiders winning 18-8.
Anybody tip that?
No.
This, you know what? I know that you said the Manly Knights game was bad.
Yeah.
Did you watch this one? Because
Yeah.
this was a terrible game of football.
I'm not sure it was as terrible as the. No,
Oh.
come on, no. I'm no.
No, come on. We've got at least there was effort from Manly and Knights. This game was just I don't know. It was just sad. It was sad to watch.
The Cowboys had all the possession.
Yep.
Yeah, they were
They got 8
terrible.
points.
Yep.
They were terrible.
Yeah.
You know, I was thinking on the way home today, you know, Manly, if you're a Manly fan, you must be bitterly disappointed with the season. And then I thought about the Cowboys and had to have a little laugh.
You feel better now?
Yeah. I mean, come on, they were tipped to win the comp.
Yes, I know.
and not just win the comp, win it in
I
a
know.
canter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Them and Daylight.
Thurston's last season.
And they are offering nothing.
Mm.
Well, we talked about it a few weeks ago. Greg Alexander said, has he played a season too long?
Mm.
No, well, yeah, he did say that, yes.
And he didn't respond. He wasn't able to respond.
No,
that
and
week.
he hasn't, and he hasn't with, you know, has he played a season too long?
But
Has
not
Thurston
only
pushed
that,
his
I
luck?
mean, Morgan's gone into his shell.
Oh yeah, it's not just Thurston. There's no way it's just him. They're all, even, I mean, their forwards are not firing the way they're supposed to.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is, and I don't know that they're running out of time to turn it around.
Yeah, a couple more losses and they'll be kissing the 8th goodbye. It might be already.
Oh, absolutely. Well, I think that you've got to win because they're on the same points as Manly, 13 out of 15.
Yeah, but
30 points.
that's based on 30 points. With this sort of a season where anybody can beat anybody, 30 points won't.
Probably
You won't
unnecessary.
need it. You'll 24, 26 will get you.
Okay, so 10 out of 15,
Yeah,
Still
and
be
they're
nice.
running what, 2 and 7.
yeah.
Pretty hard.
Yeah,
That's
mind you,
tough.
they're only 2 wins out of the 8.
Yeah,
So they're still not. Oh,
But that's,
Sorry,
that's
Parramatta.
a false argument because you're 2 wins out of the 8, but look what's above you. Are they likely to lose while you're winning? Unlikely. That's really the argument.
Well,
You just don't. But
You
you
don't-
just
you
don't
don't know.
know.
Yeah.
Like
you don't know.
I mean, realistically, and that's where that gives me a little bit of hope as well. I look at my club and I go, you know what? We've actually got some good talent there.
Yeah.
You know, the Travojevics, Dylan Walker, Cherry Evans, Marty Tapau, Appy Coruscant. Like, you know, it's not a team of nobodies.
Fanua Blake.
And they're only
Sean Lane.
They're only 2 wins out of the 8. Come on, Eagles! Come on! Sorry, carried away.
Not this week.
Just a bit. All right, let's move on to ANZ Stadium where the Parramatta Eels played the West Tigers, and the Eels winning their second game of the season, 24-22.
Did you tip?
I tipped the Tigers.
I tipped Parramatta.
Yeah, me too.
See,
I tell you, but if this game went another 5 minutes, the Tigers probably would have scored.
Well, it was backwards.
and if it had went 10, Parramatta would have scored.
That's right, yeah, and that's the way it was going. It changed the lead changed 3 or 4 times
I
out
think
the game.
Parramatta should have been winning this game early on in the game and should have been keeping the lead. But the thing I liked about the Tigers was they just never went away.
Yep.
They just kept coming back. Parra would get in front, and the Tigers would come back. And then in the last 10, 15 minutes they just traded tries. I thought it was a really entertaining game. I actually enjoyed it a lot.
See, we're talking about the refs. This is the game that I wanted to talk about.
Yep.
Because, what was the penalty count? Have you got it there, Tom?
Penalty
Count?
was 9-5 to the Tigers.
You know what? If they were penalising these teams like they were at the start of the season, it would have been about 18 to 20, the penalties.
Yeah, but
there were that many bad play the balls, offsides, hands in the ruck. It was so ill-disciplined. And they've got to get fair income. I mean, there were some penalties on the weekend for play the balls that were no worse than what was happening in this game. But this is a game that they chose to let go.
And all we ask is that they be consistent.
That's right.
If you're going to penalise heavy, penalise heavy, but do it
So-
every team,
So
every game.
I wonder if the refs were doing what they were doing at the start of the season, would that result have been the same? Because the Tigers were certainly thriving under that kind of refereeing.
Yeah.
And are the referees playing that much of a part in the results? Because it looked like it from that point of view. And I'm not just, and I know that, you know, I'll cop it because, oh, you're a Parramatta hater. But,
well, you are.
But there was a lot of stuff just let go.
Yeah.
And it really surprised me. And as I was watching it, I was thinking, how does this stack up with the other games this round, this year? And I thought it was poor. We either want the referees to do their job, or we don't. But this in the middle is, I'm sorry, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I've had my rant.
You've had your rant.
All
okay.
Right.
And that was in favour of Parramatta, marginally.
Yes, it was marginally.
Yeah.
Okay, Tom.
It was both teams, yeah.
Okay, Tom, would you like to read the ladder brought to you by
Rock Australia Radio?
Thank you.
Go Don.
All right. At the risk of monotony, the Dragons are in first place with 7 wins and 1 loss, which is pretty darn good. The Panthers are in second with six wins. The Warriors, after their loss this week, also with 6 wins. The Storm are in fourth with 5. The West Tigers with 5 in fifth. The Knights
with 5
with 5 wins in 6th position. The Rabbitohs with 4 and 4, and the Roosters also 4 and 4 in 8th place. The bottom half of the table reads the Sharks, the Broncos, the Raiders, the Titans, Sea Eagles, the Bulldogs, the Cowboys, and the Eels. So despite the Eels winning
their last 2 games,
they still can't get off the bottom because of their foreign games.
Okay.
There you go.
There we go.
There's a bit of hope at the end of the rainbow there. Parramatta at the bottom.
With Manly not far ahead of them.
Hey, that ladder reads Parramatta with a spoon.
See, some people wear their heart on their sleeve. You wear your hate on your sleeve.
It's not a hate. It's not a hate. It's just a fact.
Did you see what I posted? That you and that Bradley is the number 1 ticket holder of the Parramatta Haters Club, closely followed by you and Bradley said, I think we share that honour.
I tell you what, and interesting enough, it wasn't for Manly smashing Parramatta a few weeks ago. The for and against would be a hell of a lot closer.
Just say that again.
Yeah,
if it wasn't for
Manly smashing Parramatta a few weeks ago.
Manly smashing Parramatta. That's what we like to see.
You had a 54-0 win, and what are you now? Minus 37.
Continue on.
All right, okay, gentlemen. Instead of a question without notice, I want to go through some of the injuries for some of the teams because they're significant. And I'm actually going to pick.
You can use the ladder if you like.
Why?
Because then you'll be able to look at the teams. Oh, you've got a list of the
I've got a list of the injuries.
Okay, right,
yeah.
fine.
What, do you think I know all the stuff off the top of my head?
Going to use Manly for an example.
I'm going to use Manly as an example.
Well, that takes up all the time.
Well, look at this. Manly don't have Lachlan Croker, Jack Dejevsky, Matthew Wright, Curtis Sirinen, Kepai Tenganoa, George Tafua, Brad Parker or Jono Wright.
Yep.
All those players are out.
Is Jono Wright playing for them?
Yeah.
Really? Because he's been like 7 different clubs. I didn't know he was at Manly.
Yeah.
So that's 8 players that you don't have to call on for next week.
Yep. With our reduced salary cap and...
don't give us this sob story. Seriously.
It's not a matter of a sob story. It's a fact. We can't buy anyone else.
I know. Well, okay. Now let's talk about Penrith, who have Dylan Edwards out, Peter Wallace, Wonga Blake, Tyrone May, Nathan Cleary, Tim Brown, Sam McKendry and Josh Mansour.
We can cross Tim Brown off that list.
Why?
He retired today.
Oh, there you go.
Is that right?
So Tim Brown doesn't count. Sorry, Tim, you've been a great servant of the game. I love watching you play.
And that's another team with 8 players on the sideline, but are coming second.
Yeah.
So what's wrong, bro?
And then
what's wrong? I'll tell you.
The Roosters only have Daniel Tupou out.
Yep.
And that's it. And they're running about 8th. Running 8th.
What about Parramatta?
What about you?
What about South?
No, Parramatta. I want Parramatta.
Oh, you want Parramatta?
I want Parramatta.
Do you really want Parramatta?
Yeah, I want them beating the little around.
Okay, they have no Nathan Brown, no Tony Williams, no Jared Hayne, no Greg Lewinsky, that one?
Yep.
Bo Scott or Kirasomi Avaha.
Oh, it's a fair
It's a fair whack.
Yeah.
It's not surprising, is it?
So the Rabbitohs got anybody out?
Yeah, we've got heaps. What are you talking about? They're
Anybody
struggling.
with a decent name?
Excuse me, what are you talking about? I'll find him here. Okay, Richie Kenner, probably gone for the season.
Yep.
Sam Burgess, suspended.
That
Yeah,
doesn't
but that's
count.
not his. That's not any
That doesn't
injury
count.
fault.
It's
Zane-
his
being bad.
forearms.
being bad.
It's his forearms' fault.
Yes, he hurt his arm as he lifted it. Zane Musgrove, Tyrrell Fuimayona, and Dean Britt.
Yeah.
So not a lot of names.
Household names.
Well,
Yeah.
but that's my point.
Yeah.
You know, you look at Manly and the players they have out. A lot of they're regular first graders.
They would have all been in first grade. Yeah.
And look, but the same with Penrith, and it's just interesting that they've got the same amount. One is absolutely struggling, and one is flying high. So there's something in the camp at Manly, or something in the water at Penrith.
I think it's more to do with the fact that Penrith have a bunch of young blokes that can play anywhere.
Yeah.
Like I said, they're footballers.
Yeah.
And Manly have a fullback, a centre, a winger, and it's.
So are you
and-
saying
and I
there's
think-
something wrong with the way Manly have bought in the last couple of years?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
The person who made the decision to let Clint Gutherson go, honestly, I could kick them.
Yeah.
And I said that
And
at
you
the
did
time.
at the time.
Oh my goodness. Anybody could tell that he was going to be a superstar.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Anyone who was watching the game, and the fact that they let him go was disappointing. So yeah, there's a recruitment problem there.
Oh, and by the way, St George have no injuries.
But that's what it takes to win a premiership, doesn't
That's
it?
right.
Yeah,
Yeah. You keep your best team on the field.
Yep.
But even Melbourne, very quickly for some of our listeners, Curtis Scott, Tim Glaspie, Vunivalu, Jesse Bromwich, Dane Finnecane, Sandor Earl.
Yeah, but you know what our response to is to Melbourne. Seriously. How can you have that much talent? How can you have that much talent?
Don't you like Melbourne?
How can you have that much talent?
Tom,
And I'm not going to say the other words because it could be libelous.
I'm disappointed in you,
So
Tom.
you should be.
Wow.
We're both disappointed.
How
in
can you have that much talent and be
What?
finish the
No.
statement? I'm not saying that.
No, we're not. No,
I'll
no.
get sued.
We
I didn't say that. Those two sentences.
Hang on a
didn't
second. Can
necessarily
we just run through
follow
the
each
Roosters lineup again, please?
other. Yep, and you can ask Uncle Nick, and he'll give you a sound reason for why we're under the
That's
cap.
right. Exactly. Or sombrero. Okay.
It's a gazebo.
It's a gazebo
I told
now.
you.
That's right.
All right.
All right.
If we fit under it, it doesn't matter. No matter what you call it, we
So,
fit under.
gentlemen, a third of the season is now over.
Oh, that's pretty sad, isn't
I
it?
don't know. It's been painful so far.
You want it over, don't you? You just want it done. Okay, let's move on to Thursday night game this week at Suncorp Stadium. Brisbane Broncos against the Canterbury Bulldogs. Anyone going to tip the Bulldogs?
No, I don't think so.
I want to, but I can't.
I think the Broncos are home and they're showing a bit of form. I think the Dogs will be willing, but I don't think they'll match it with the.
All right, so give me a margin.
Maybe because it's a Thursday.
Well, I have to, don't know.
Maybe because it's a Thursday, the Dogs will get up. The
Why?
Broncos usually play on Fridays.
What is the moon out on that particular?
Yeah,
night?
look, it's a little. It'll upset Uncle Wayne's precious routine.
I don't think he's got one at the moment.
Okay, we're going to leave that one alone.
So margin
Margin?
12.
Yeah, well, I'd say 10.
No, I think it'll be closer than that.
Okay.
He said 9.
6.
All right, let's move on to Friday night's game, where Newcastle Knights are playing South at McDonald Jones Stadium.
Ooh, danger game.
No, South's
Danger game
going
for the
to
Rabbitohs.
win this easy.
I'm
Danger
going
game for
with
the
Knights.
What?
Yeah.
Well, after
Really?
last week's
After
performance,
last week's game against Manly? I'm sorry.
after last week's performance, I rate them a chance.
Yep.
Well, gentlemen, you'll both be very
And they're
disappointed.
playing at home. They grow another leg.
Yeah. If
Because
it was anywhere else, here we go.
My friend
Yeah.
is going to have a blinder.
Well, he doesn't have any odds at the moment, so that's probably fair enough.
Blind indeed.
He's going to have a blinder. Young Greg, come on out.
Yeah.
Not young anymore either.
Yeah. Sorry, Steve. At home, I'm going to go to the Knights.
Yeah, Knights. Knights for
Okay,
me.
strange people. Okay, let's move on to Carrington Park, where the Penrith Panthers are playing North Queensland.
The Panthers by about 30.
Oh, by a lot. 18.
Wow.
Yeah.
I would have said 10. I don't think it'll be
30.
big. You think it's 30?
Yeah.
Goodness. Okay. Brave man for putting that.
The Panthers are going to jump on that bus, travel down to the Bathurst, and
Wrong club. The
Sorry?
Tigers are on the bus.
Tigers are on the bus, right? Well, the Panthers are going to be on the bus too.
But the Cats will really fight each other.
All right.
All right. You want to move on to GIO Stadium on Saturday afternoon, where the Canberra Raiders are playing the Gold Coast Titans.
I actually don't get how the Raiders are favourites for this game. I mean, I know they had a win and the Titans lost, but the Raiders were not good in their win, and the Titans were okay in their loss. I'm surprised. I'm Titans on this one.
Raiders in the close one. Raiders in the fourth field goal.
I'd be going Raiders in this one.
Field goal.
No, I think the Titans will have this.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's move on to Mount Smart Stadium, where the Warriors play the West Tigers.
These are two teams that started out like a bull at the gate.
Yep.
At the beginning of the season, and both have just suddenly gone into their shell just a little bit.
Do you think the Tigers have, or do you think the oppositions have now worked out how to play them? I don't think they've gone in their shell at all, to be honest with you. The Tigers were never going to be able to win every single game.
Yeah.
The Warriors went into their shell last week.
Well, no, the Warriors weren't allowed to play. That's the problem. They just got outplayed.
This will be an entertaining game.
I think it'll be a great game.
I think ultimately no Isaac Luke. I'm going Tigers.
Don't know if Sean Johnson's back for this one.
That could be a good thing and a bad thing.
No, I'm on the Tigers.
Yep.
I've caught Ivan's bus.
You're on the bus. No. I'm going Warriors in this one, and I think it'll be probably 6 to 8 points to the Warriors.
Okay.
Okay, Southern Cross Group Stadium, gentlemen, shows Cronulla Sharks against the Parramatta Eels.
Yeah.
Tom, Brian.
So I'm very tired.
We probably have some Parramatta and Cronulla supporters here. I think you need to be a little bit more enthusiastic about the game.
That was enthusiastic.
Cronulla for me on this one. It's hard to back them against them at home. It's just.
I know, but they're not playing well, and Parramatta, for all their faults, actually their attack started to fire last week.
Yeah, I'm going Eels.
Yeah.
I think I'm agreeing with Steve. At home, I'm leaning towards the Sharks.
Yeah. Okay.
I actually have to start being realistic because my team's gone.
Well, if Parramatta do win this one, you might find yourself last.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, while you think about that one, let's move on to Jubilee Oval, where this should be a really cracker of a game.
It should be the 4 o'clock game.
It should be.
It should be the 4 o'clock game.
St George Illawarra against the Melbourne Storm.
Yeah, this will be a really good test of both teams.
I'm going the Dragons.
Dragons at home. This has got to come down to a golden point, surely. I think there'll be nothing in this game.
I think the Dragons by a bit.
Tom, get off the fence.
Field goal.
To who? Dragons?
Dragons.
Because you're saying field goal, but you haven't said actually.
Oh, okay.
So
Dragons and field goal.
Dragons, okay. No, I'm going.
Two field goal games this week.
I know you're going to ridicule me, but I'm going Melbourne for this one.
Surprise!
Shock horror.
They are just playing too well.
No.
To not go for the Melbourne Storm in this one.
Dragons by 8.
Wow. What?
Yeah.
More than a converted try.
A lot of sore and tired bodies after this one, I can tell you.
Yeah. Okay, let's move on to the last game of the round.
Match of the round, Tom. Match of the round.
Allianz Stadium, where the Sydney Roosters are playing the Manly Sea Eagles.
This should be a foregone conclusion, but I'll tell you what, the way we're attacking,
Brian?
The Roosters, sorry.
I think, spurred on by the threat of the spoon hanging over the proud club, the Sea Eagles will rise to the occasion.
I tell you what, if they win on Sunday, I'm not coming next Monday.
Oh yes, you are.
Oh, you better.
Because
I have to show up.
We'll be dragging you here.
Yeah.
But
I'm locking that shed and you're not getting in.
I don't think you have a worry. As much as I hate to say it, I think this will be Roosters by 30.
if anything's going to happen, this is a good chance for us to try and click.
Well, I was going to say, like,
If you can't win this one, you're in trouble.
well, like, you know, and, well, you know, if anything was going to happen for Manly, it would have been last week at Brookvale
Yes.
against the wooden spooners from last year. But don't worry, we could.
You beat us in this game last year.
Actually,
Last minute.
it'll be
last gasp.
interesting to see what the crowds are for this one. Manly can't get anyone to their home games and they don't travel. The Roosters get no one going to their games.
Oh,
Honestly, this will be
how many
nobody.
How many did you have at your game the other day?
11,000?
Not many.
11,000
Not
on a
many.
Thursday night is not bad.
Not many.
This will be Sunday and you won't even get 11,000 to it.
Well, won't be any Seagulls fans.
You on his boringness as well.
Yeah, sort of.
All right, gentlemen, that brings us to the end of the show. Brian, you want to finish up with anything?
Yeah, there's got to be an investigation.
Tubi, that's what you're missing. You're missing Tubi.
It's got to be an investigation.
Okay.
Yes.
You know, I said it at the time and I'll say it now. No. You've got no idea what you're talking about. I didn't think he did either back when he was saying it. Tom, you want to say anything to end up?
Go Sydney Roosters.
Sydney Roosters.
Is that it?
Yeah, Eastern Suburbs Roosters.
You two are very tight. I mean, that's all
We are
I get
tight.
for the whole...
Oh, come on. I got a laugh out of you.
All right,
What have you got to add, Steve?
Yeah, come on.
nothing. I've been doing all the talking all show.
Oh,
Well, that's the first.
Why?
We do all the talking normally.
Yeah, but I ask the questions.
but we're the intelligent ones.
I ask the intelligent questions, you answer them.
So you put yourself in dangerous positions there. Seriously.
All right.
And why don't more of you actually post on Facebook what are ridiculous comments he makes?
Yeah.
Because they're not ridiculous.
So please go to our Facebook page, NRL from the Sidelines. Have a look. Please post whatever you like within reason. We like to keep it clean. And make any comments. We'll put a few questions up this week, or at least Brian's going to put a few questions up this week. And everyone, enjoy your week, and we'll see you all next week.
All right.
See you later. Bye-bye.